Greetings and good day. It's Oyabunmi Day. How are you? I hope you're well. Welcome to another episode of Messages from Ori. Today, I'm channeling messages about how we can best prepare to enter the afterlife with grace and ease. Okay, before I get started, if you're interested in your own personal tarot reading, if you want to learn how to read tarot intuitively, if you're interested in an Ifa reading, Heterisha reading, online trainings, ebooks, check out my website, daydreamalston.com. Okay, so I got really excited when I was thinking about this topic because as spiritual beings, I know that it is so important that we consider our actions very well, right? We want to do things here on the earth which are going to prepare us to move into the afterlife with ease. I truly believe that some of the things we do here have an impact on how we move into the afterlife. So I wanted to check in with the divine to find out how we can prepare. Like, what can we do while we're living, right? While we're experiencing these days? What can we do to ensure that our entry into the afterlife is smooth and that we are welcomed well? Okay? So let's start with the I Ching. I love the I Ching because it's just like a very straightforward, um, down to earth way of, receiving information from the divine. So when I posed this question, what I got from the I Ching is that, a lot about how we behave here on the planet right now, right? So some of the things that we need to do are be very generous and be open with others. It talked about forgiveness, the need to forgive others for their shortcomings, and actually to seek out the good in others, to really make an effort to see the good in people and in life. I received the message that it's very important that we give, assist, and encourage other people, like that we just be the epitome of one walking with good character, right? Some of the other things that came up are the importance of um, being of service to others, but also in making it a point to consistently strengthen the self and improve oneself. It talked about looking out for the common good, like looking out for the good of all, avoiding selfishness, self centeredness, like really looking out for everyone. How can everyone benefit from what you're doing? Are your actions harming people? Are your actions helping people? Another thing that it talked about was always looking out for dependents, right? The people that are dependent on you, the underdogs, right? People who have less than you, really being there, supporting them, standing up for them, ensuring that the hungry have food, ensuring that the people who don't have water have fresh, clean water, things like that. It talks about being a peacemaker and seeking wise company, like keeping wise company. Don't be part of the problem, be part of the solution. It also spoke of being a good influence in the world, like really being someone that people can look up to and be encouraged by and influenced in good ways. And also that we need ourselves to follow good influences. Like be very careful and mindful of the people that you follow, right? The bandwagons that you jump on. Really carefully consider those things because it seems, you know, that is going to be very important in how we prepare to enter the afterlife with ease and grace. For some of you, there's something about leadership coming out. If you are a leader, some of you are natural leaders, and many people will follow you. And, the I Ching, the divine through the I Ching is letting us know that we need to be a good influence if we're in positions like that, okay? Wonderful. So now let's look at the tarot and find out what else we can learn about how to best prepare to enter the afterlife with ease and grace. What do we need to do here on earth, Divine? Divine, what do we need to do here on earth to prepare to enter the afterlife with ease and grace? How do we prepare for that while we are here on earth? So one of the things that is coming to me, you know, the Kemetic story that talks about the weighing of the heart, right? And the heart is weighed with a feather. And the hope is that your heart is as light as a feather. I take that to mean transitioning with a lightness, with a lightness and an ease, right? With a lightheartedness, you know, that's what we call it. So there's a need to continuously process the information and emotions, the traumas that we deal with, right? The bad experiences we have. Like, we have to continuously work through these things so that we're not carrying, you know, all of this heavy negative baggage around with us. And as I say that, the strength card has come out. The strength card for me is a card of really transmuting the lower nature, but also overcoming bad habits, working through, like I said, the trauma and hardships of life. And that's something that we saw with the I Ching too, the need to strengthen the self, to continuously work to strengthen your will. You know, to continuously work to strengthen your heart and your willingness to live. You know what I mean? Like, there's a need to really fight for your well being, to control the lower nature, to continuously refine your behavior, your character. There's like those aspects that we consider the shadow. There's a need to really work with that energy in order to overcome it. Doing that puts us in good standing as we go to make our transition into the afterlife. With the Ace of Swords here, I'm seeing this as being open to the newness of life. Some of us get stuck in really harmful patterns, behaviors, habits, and the divine is saying be open to new ways of being, be flexible and adaptable. Don't get stuck in harmful patterns, ways, processes. For some reason, I'm picking this up as being careful of the leaders you follow as well. Like, make sure the leaders you follow are upright and truthful, with this sword here kind of standing up. Consistently pay attention to your thinking, right? Don't let your thinking bog you down. Some people here have a tendency to overthink and allow their mind and mental images to limit them and limit their abilities. The divine is saying cut that out, that in order to transition well, to move into the afterlife well, you need to constantly be on the lookout for mental processes that could be holding you back. With the Two of Staves here, I'm seeing that the divine doesn't want us to kind of get stuck in, like, they don't want us to become immobile, where we're kind of stuck in ways and stuck in certain, again, patterns, habits, belief systems. There's a need to continuously check in with the self, to not allow stagnation, and be very open to an influx of new information, new ways of moving. There's a need to sit in discernment of your next steps. Like, don't just jump up and run towards things. There's a need to really sit and think about things before taking steps forward. The divine wants you to know that you've been given the great power of co-creation. You are literally co-creating alongside the divine. And so they want you to make sure that your co-creations are good, influential co-creations, positive co-creations, ones that benefit the common good, that support the common good. The divine wants us to see that we're all connected throughout the earth. You know, someone across seas can be impacted by something, and it's easy to say, well, oh, you know, too bad for them. But the divine wants us to see that kind of ripple effect, how it ripples out and touches us all. And in your acknowledgement of that and really being careful of how you move in the world, you're actually setting yourself up to enter the afterlife very well. The divine is showing me that you'll have opportunities to choose these paths, right? And you want to make sure that the paths you're choosing are the best for yourself and for the others involved. I'm hearing lifted, being lifted up, uplifted. Be someone that uplifts others. That's a way to support your smooth transition into the afterlife. The Fool just came out. So again, there's this energy of being open to newness, to trying new things, to having a childlike awe and wonder about life, a playfulness, going in new directions when you need to. The divine says we get really stuck. And we're not moving and flowing as we should with life. There's a need to flow with life, be in flow with life in order to prepare to move into the afterlife. Again, this energy of the heart being as light as a feather. And the way you can do that is by cultivating play, playing more, being open to going in new directions. The divine opens up paths to us all the time, and it's saying that we get so stuck in our ways that we don't go in the directions that, you know, the new directions that are available to us. The divine says, don't be a fool. Avoid doing foolish things. Avoid taking foolish actions that can hurt yourself or others in order to enter into the afterlife with ease and grace. The divine is saying that some of you, you have to be careful of moving too fast, of impulsive actions, of dangerous actions that can actually send you into the afterlife earlier than you're meant to be there, and you're not, and that can stop you from entering with ease and grace. So there's a need to be very, very mindful of your behaviors, your actions, because you don't want to get there too soon, and especially through like some type of accident or something, okay? Some of you have to be very careful with intoxicants. One or two of you that I'm talking to, there's a possibility of losing your life due to some type of intoxicant or intoxication, drinking and stumbling, drinking and driving, taking something that increases your heart rate. Be very, very mindful of that. There's a need, the divine is saying, to be very focused, discerning, disciplined in our actions, in our work here on the planet. You still want to maintain that sense of play, right, and flexibility, but there's a need to really focus your will and your intention, and focusing it the right way helps to allow us to enter the afterlife with ease and grace. Let's get a couple more cards from this deck. This one wants to come out. We have the Lovers here. Lead with love and compassion. Again, make choices that support the common good. Reach out to people in love. Those people that are connected to you, that are closely connected to you, that need your help, be there for them. Try to avoid fight and drama. Avoid gossip. Like the divine is really asking us to walk um, in a very highly moral way in order to enter into the afterlife with ease and grace. There's a need to balance our inner masculine and feminine energies as well. The masculine is the active and conscious principle. The feminine is the passive and subconscious intuitive principle. So really balancing that in order to enter in to the afterlife with ease and grace. And with the chariot here, you're being encouraged to really be empowered, to live your life in a very empowered way. Avoid feeling like a victim. Avoid victim mindset, poverty mindset. Remember that you are a co-creator. You get to work towards what you want here and fight for what you want here on the earth as well. There's a need to build knowledge. And the divine has shown me with this card recently that when you say you're born into nothing, right? And you really have to work your way out of a troubling situation. There is honor in that. And the divine is saying, go ahead and fight for your kingdom. There are people who are born into wealth, and you have to fight for your wealth. And, that's what you need to do. And that's okay. There's honor in that. And in doing so, and in, doing so in the right ways, you're actually going to make it easier for you to enter into the afterlife with grace. Okay. So let's get, I'm not going to take all of those. One card from the Mystical Shaman Oracle. There we go. About how we enter into the afterlife with ease and grace. Y'all, this is amazing to me. So the I Ching that I got is number 42, increase. And now the card, the Mystical Shaman Oracle that fell, is number 42 as well. So powerful how the divine communicates. So that number 42, it's very interesting that it's come up 2 times here. But from the Mystical Shaman, we got the Rainmaker. And the Rainmaker speaks of the master. The Rainmaker is the master of manifestation. So this is speaking of the need to be the master manifestors in our own lives in order to enter into the afterlife with ease and grace. It says that we can call on the elements of nature to serve the greater good. Now, and that's what the I Ching was talking about, this idea of serving the common good, the greater good. It says, when the power to co-create is used with integrity, great beauty and benefit flow to all, right? When this power is used for personal gain only, everyone suffers. When the earth is parched, the rainmaker calls the waters from the heavens, and all that is dormant in the fields and in people's hearts springs to life again. So we have this message about the common good again, the greater good. We have this message about, co-creation again, and the need to lead with integrity to benefit all as opposed to being, bringing negativity to all. This card also talks about creating something new from the elements that you already have in your life. Work with what you have, and don't continue thinking about what you don't have, what might be or could have been. So really focus on what you have at your disposal. It's saying, do not hold back. Put all your chips on the next roll of the divine dice. Ashe. So really, going for it. Really tuning into your divine purpose and hitting that shit. You know what I mean? Like going after it. And lastly, it says, recognize how you are co-creating your world. Nothing is happening out there without your involvement. Remember that the world is only mirroring back to you the condition of your love and your intent. So change these within before you take any action. Do not take life personally, right? Don't take everything as if, it's happening to you to harm you and that you are a victim. You are not. Together, all of us are co-creating this reality. Some of us are co-creating some really crappy shit, and some of us are working on creating better. So your job is to create the good, to co-create the good, right? To co-create with integrity. These are the ways that we are going to enter into the afterlife with ease and grace. Ashe. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like and share, and I'll talk to you next time.